All right, so thanks for doing this. We're all excited. I'm sure, much like me, you guys have been thinking about this for several, maybe over the weekend. So let's have
Yeah.
some introductions. We have first on the screen I'm seeing is David and Zunaira from.
Hello.
So yeah, thanks for joining us. And then Nasir and Madiha from Pakistan.
Hello.
Keep it there.
Yes. Hello. Yeah.
And obviously, everyone watching this is on this insider page, and you've read lots of conversations between me and Nasir. Now we'll hear what is really happening. Questions. So let's start with David and Zunaira. How about if you guys just share your story, let's say in just a couple minutes, 2 or 3 minutes, tell us how you met, and I don't know, incorporate into that, I guess, your faith journey. Okay, so let's just kind of start there. Tell us about yourselves, how you developed in your faith and how you met each other, how you got married.
Well, perhaps I can start with just telling that how I get saved. And it's been a journey for me. I was around 15 when I accepted the Lord Jesus Christ as my Savior, and it's been a long journey. But you can say I say by faith, by grace, not by works. And I'm thankful to the Lord. He's gave me a wonderful family, wonderful wife, especially. I'm belonging to a kind of small family here in Sweden, and it's such a grateful that I have such a wonderful family now in Pakistan.
Super.
Yeah, it was interesting how we got introduced to each other. Actually, one of my relative who lives in Sweden, and the whole family moved to Sweden like a decade ago, I would say. And they were, and my relative was working with David, and David was looking for a girl, and he asked him, "Why wouldn't you marry a Pakistani girl?"
Yeah, so it's funny. During that time, I was working on a Christian TV station, the airing television in Pakistan, actually. And a relative was Zunaira, and he asked me, and I was thinking, well, no, let's talking at each other at least. Let's start talking.
Yeah.
And well, it was a process for Zunaira's family when my friend Jabran was introduced us first to your father, and we were allowed to talk to Facebook.
Yeah.
And we started talking, and even more that, and like twice a day, even on like social media. And then in March, at least, we realized we were praying together. We were just, it's gonna be.
We felt the connection, I would say. Like there was something common in us, and we like, why not? And then we kept like talking for 9 months, and then this day we decided to flew to Pakistan for the first time. It was December 2014. So so he came to Pakistan, and we had already decided that we will get engaged when he will come to Pakistan. Although he would see me for the first time in person, so we had already decided, and I was kind of nervous. What if he would see me in person? He would refuse, and how my feelings how would I handle myself? So I was kind of nervous, and I'm sure David was nervous as well.
Well, the first time in an Asian country like that, we have never met in person.
No.
But of course, we have talked so much, and we're knowing each other, and we're trusting the Lord. That
we've been praying a lot, and we felt the peace in our hearts, and I think it was led by God.
It was led by God. Absolutely.
And we still feel that peace in our married life, and we love for each other.
When I came to Pakistan that first time, I met by a wonderful family, really, that took care of me. And I was happy to meet Zunaira for the first time, my wonderful wife. And then we had the engagement party, and it was like a Swedish wedding, but even more special than that, because it was
like 60, 70 people only on engagement. And David was quite short. shocked. I mean, like he said that this would have been a Swedish wedding. This is like, this seems almost a wedding to me. So it was like a cultural difference, and everything was totally new for David, but he was very brave, I would say, that he took everything, so he handled everything so well.
So in America, that happens, but I think it would be somewhat unusual. Is it unusual or common in your cultures to see that kind of an arrangement in marriage?
Yeah, I would call it a arranged marriage. And in Pakistani culture, it's like, although like I would say Madiha and Nasir, they had like love marriage, but still they had to go through, like Madiha had to go through her parents, and Nasir has to go through his parents. So they cannot decide themselves. They have to have their like permission, or I would say their acceptance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was the right channels. And after that, after the engagement, we were praying, and you know, it went really fast after that. I must say that to get, we decided that we will have the wedding in Sweden, and then she has to apply for the visa and everything. But thank God, everything God put everything in place. And in August 2015, she came to Sweden, and September 5, we got married here in a Swedish wedding.
So things were like falling in place very.
What year was that?
Sorry?
What year? When did you get married? September 5, what year?
2015.
2015.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool. Very good.
Yeah.
So Zunaira, could you share your faith experience? I take it you kind of grew up in a Christian family, but could you give us that kind of background?
Yeah, I grew up in a Christian family, as you mentioned, and I've been like a part of Sunday school, youth meetings, and then like, you know, I've been always, I would say throughout my life, I have been in part of church, and we were also reading Bible and getting by like biblical teaching at home. My parents were saved, and then I got saved. I accepted Jesus, I would say, when I was 16, and it's been a wonderful journey. There has been ups and downs, but God has been faithful, and thank God that we are now as a being married with David. He's my leader, I would say. He's my also spiritual leader, and we are growing together in faith now. So I'm happy that God gave me a God-loving husband, that he can guide me through my spiritual life. So I'm very thankful to God in that way.
Could you help us culturally? In America, most of the people who are on this insider page, I would call evangelical Christians.
Yeah.
And of course, as we interact with what's happening in Pakistan, we see this association with the Catholic Church. Could you put that kind of in perspective from your view as to what we're seeing? Some of us don't have experience with the Catholic Church, and we see that it's a pretty significant religion, but yet, you know, we would never have thought Pakistan would even be open to something other than Muslim. So just give us a real brief summary, obviously now living outside of Pakistan. If you're speaking to us as Americans, what would you like us to know about that situation?
You mean like what the
Catholic
situation?
Mm-hmm.
Do you mean with like they are being involved in this association, like I didn't really get your question.
It was about the Catholic Church involvement, and is it normal, the Catholic Church?
Yeah, I would say that like in Pakistan, Christianity is mostly known by Catholicism. And it's like it's a big denomination. So if you would say like, and the other churches, they would like, they usually cooperate with each other. And Catholicism is like well-known denomination, and it's a big denomination in Pakistan. And like many people, like NGOs or organizations are run by also, and they help in many organizations, these Catholic priests. So.
But maybe you can tell you about your church background. It's more like a Baptist church. Can you say that?
Yeah, the church I grew up, actually, they are very, I would say, fundamental Baptist. Like they are very basics. So they would not really go for hand to hand with Catholicism. They would keep themselves away. So personally, I have never been so much involved with Catholics. So yeah, so I would say, but still in Pakistan, it goes hand on hand. Like many organizations, they work together with these Catholic priests, and they also help, and they are doing the good work, I would say. Although if we say biblically, their faith would be very different what I believe, but they are still doing the good work. They are helping with the many organizations. They are providing what they can. So
yeah, maybe I can say what I think and then you can help correct me. I would think, I've never been to Sweden, I've never been to Pakistan. I would think in Sweden it would be similar to the USA. When you have religious freedom, it's very easy to nitpick and to, in a sense, make divisions among, we'll just say, the broader aspect of maybe Christianity, if that makes sense. So we have, like in my town, Warsaw, it's 12,000 people. We probably have 200 churches. And it's not uncommon that some of those churches don't get along with each other, right?
Yeah.
But I would think if you're in a country that's only 2% Christian and 98%
Muslims, yeah.
Of concern of safety and persecution.
Exactly.
Would be more commonality among people that may even believe differently. So it's kind of like if you're in a foxhole in a war, you get along with your buddies really well. I don't know, if you're in a bar in America or something, you might fight each other.
Yeah.
But here's a very important kind of distinction, and David said it as he referred to his faith, and we can understand that in terms of yours. The issue is there truly only one way to heaven? Is it through Jesus Christ? Is it through grace and faith versus works? And I would say from my experience in America, I have some friends who are Catholics, who are Christians and are walking in faith and believing that they're saved by grace. I would say there's other people who simply view it as a religion and they're on I have to do certain things. And if I'm good enough or do certain things, maybe I'll get to heaven. There's a huge difference between those two paths.
It is.
What I'm trying to say is, from an American side of things, probably a lot of people on our page have never even been outside the country to experience another culture. When you're in Europe, it's easier for you to have multiple cultural experiences. In America, that's not exactly a common thing among lots of people. And then we all kind of are in our own little bubble of our faith, and it takes extra work to try to understand what's really happening in other countries and other cultures. And anyway, I'm rambling, but I just wanted us to have some opportunity to try to define that, because we don't really see all of that background as we watch what's happening in Pakistan. So any comments or anything you'd like to clarify there?
I guess for the biblical view is, that is grace by faith, not by works. That we have to, the Bible has to be the final authority in all practice and faith. And but I think everybody that we are all sinners, the Bible says so. We are only sinners saved by grace, and we have to understand we are sinners and we cannot work ourselves to heaven. It's only through Jesus Christ that are the door. We have to go enter through him only and put all our faith and on Jesus Christ only. That means trust him only to take us to heaven. And I think in everybody who do that will be saved, because everybody who calling upon the name of the Lord will be saved. But I think in Pakistan there is so much differences, and I think in the Catholic Church, I think some people, that's the only option they have. I'm sure many put their trust on Christ alone. I prefer if people be very, very clear with the message, the gospel message, the good news only, but and not the rituals. But I think there is. I think we should be clear, but at the same time we should be graceful to others that also doing the works for the Lord, really.
Okay.
Yeah, and here I would like to also mention, like in Pakistan, it's very common. Like if I am Christian, like my parents are Christian, and I'm born to in that family. So some people think like, okay, now I'm saved, like I'm Christian. Because my parents, I'm born in a Christian family, I'm automatically saved. So I don't have to do anything. My parents are doing whatever they're doing. I will trust them. Not they would not take the personally step forward toward Jesus. So this is also a concept, and I think it's kind of complicated.
That would be similar in the USA as well.
Yeah.
Among the people who might be watching this, there's a greater understanding, and they would identify with what you're saying, and that that's a problem. But in the big scheme of things, if America at one time we would have considered it to be a Christian nation, that doesn't mean that everybody that to be a Christian actually understands what that means. All people, just are born into it. They may practice anything that looks like Christianity, but they might say that they're Christians. Okay, so let's move on. How about a real brief, 60-second kind of thing? What are you guys doing now in Sweden? What are your occupations? What are you involved in?
Would you like to start?
Well, I'm a trained, in media field, and I have got my contract now for January, starting in IKEA Communication as a camera operator, you can say that, light technician in IKEA Studios. So it will be wonderful to try that out. Well, we both belong to a Baptist movement in Sweden. We try to meet every Saturday. You go out and soul winning and having great fellowship together.
Cool, very good.
Yeah, and I'm working as a teacher in international school, where we are very diverse, like 60 or more nationalities like in that school. So it's a fascinating work for me, and I like to work with children. So this is what I'm doing right at the moment.
Super, very good.
Yeah.
All right. So Nasir, I'm going to leave you kind of out of this because we usually talk a lot. So I'm saying Madiha, is that the way to pronounce your name? Your sister said Madiha. How do you pronounce your name?
No, it's yes, it's Madiha.
Madiha. Okay. So
Madiha.
okay. Yeah. So tell us your side of the story. How did the two of you get hooked up? And how did you get to know each other? How did you get married?
I think Nasir, he can explain it better.
Well, we have been working in an organization. I was new in Faisalabad, and that was my first job. And I started with doing work first time there. So Madiha she was doing a work as an accountant there, and but by that time, she used to call me brother, and although we are brothers and sisters in Jesus Christ, so so we never thought that we will be in relation and we will get married in future. But God had planned for us. So um, after that, she left before me that office, and then we were in contact with through mobile. And sometime whenever I used need some help in accounts, so I used to call her, and we met I think 2 or 3 times, and I don't know how it came into our hearts, and so after that I proposed her, and she shared with her father, and he said, yeah, he's quite good. So so
Not that
he should
bad.
talk to he should talk to his parents, so he should send his parents to us. So so this is how we connected.
Super. I just got to notice that we have 10 more minutes before this ends, so we'll speed up
Okay.
a little bit.
Yes.
After
Hmm.
part 2, maybe. All right. So tell us about how the village got started. How did you get in contact with the village and begin that work?
Yeah, we have been doing some activities, and I was involved in different projects through the other organization I was working with. So one of my uncle's friend, he introduces us, and we had a cloth distribution there once, and then we saw that there's a need to work, and we had in our heart that whenever we will start doing something, so we will prefer to work here, because mostly people are working on brick kilns, and they do labor works. There's no opportunity because the only earning point for them is the Faisalabad city, which is a long way for them, traveling from village to the city area. So the beginning, when we thought that we will do something, we plan to do some work there. So uh, Sister Zunaira and Brother David, they were there, and they encouraged us. They supported us. They helped us financially, and they helped us through their encouragement. The encouragement was there, and yeah, this is how we started work there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go back to Sweden. And David, tell us how the two of you got involved in trying to help this whole movement start. What was the connection there? What was your role?
Yeah, I think it was that during we went to Pakistan, was the third time I was to Pakistan to attend Brother Nasir and Sister Madiha's wedding. And we were happy for that. But I think after that it started the ideas from Brother Nasir, and we encouraged him a lot to. And when he's talking about that village, and we're thinking that's a wonderful idea from the Lord, I think so, because it's so important. And we were thinking, yeah, we want to support this from the beginning, because that's the least thing we can do. God has blessed us with everything, absolutely everything we need here. We are blessed, and we have more than enough. Why not trying to help these children and this project, because we believe in this work, what we are doing there. So that's just that's the last we can sacrifice. Really, it's really nothing compared to, I think so.
Would
you want to add something?
Yeah, I would like to also say, as God has really put this in our heart.
Yeah.
Since I'm from Pakistan and I know the hardships, how hard it is for some people in Pakistan to send their children to school. Although my parents, they were both working, but they did not really have enough resources to send us to school, but they did their best and we were sent to school, and they had really hard, tough time to educate us. And if you see like village, it's even worse in that remote area. I would say people do not have enough money to feed their children, to send their children to school. So I talked to David like, oh, Nasir has so many good ideas. He really has heart for children to work. And then I was like, how can we help him? So it was like really God has put it in our heart that we should do something, maybe not more. We can always start from little. So we started from very little, but I'm happy like how it has expanded, and we can see that God has really been there throughout these 2 years. I would say like we've been working with this specific village and specific children, and we were there last December, and we saw these children with our own eyes, and it was so much joy in our heart, like we are doing something for these kids. And it was so...
When our trip there last time to Pakistan, and we did visit these projects, and what we went to the village side, it was astonishing how little infrastructure they have, how poor they were, and some of the children didn't even have shoes, and they looked kind of dirty, some of them, but I think the love and the gratefulness that we met by these children, it was worth everything. It was worth it, absolutely. Everything we have done, all the struggles, everything, and I think it really helps what we are doing there, and we believe that for a better future for these children.
So you mentioned something that's been on my mind on the pictures of the computer center dedication. I'm not sure I saw any kids with shoes. Is that common? Are they generally without shoes?
Sorry, yeah.
So yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, most of the children, yeah, they don't have things like that, and especially in winter season, it's hard for them. Yeah, and yeah, usually it's something like that. And although they can buy something like wearing a chappal, we call it, and I don't know
like
what it is
sneakers,
called.
like
Slippers. Yeah,
slippers.
yeah. But
Yeah,
the shoes of covering whole feet, it is hard for them to buy for the winter season, especially. Yeah.
Even they are wearing the summer cloth in winter.
And it's very cold there also at winter time, so it's not so fun at all.
No, so but the thing is, although they do not have these things, but they are very thankful what little they get. They are just thankful for that, and you can see the joy in their heart what they receive. So, and it was amazing how these people, like although they do not have all these things, all these facilities, but they have like joy. So.
All right, so we have 2 minutes left. I think what we're going to do is go ahead and stop, and then we'll restart with a second video and wrap up. So let me stop this.